Very good morning to all my viewers. I hope you all have understood the first part of the seventh chapter of Vistas, Evans Tries and O Level. Children, today I'm going to continue with the chapter. It would be considered as the second part. Okay? Now, in the first part, children, you have learnt that the governor of Oxford Prison, he contacts the Secretary of Examination Board regarding, a prisoner who wished to upgrade his qualification, and thus, with certain precautions, the Secretary of Examination had given his consent to the governor of HM Prison to conduct the examination, O-level German examination, following or taking proper precautions and being vigilant while conducting the examination. And we have even learned that the governor of HM Prison has appointed, two officers, very disciplinarian officers. One was one of them was, a newly appointed recruited officer whose name was Stephens, and another one was very disciplinary, a very principled officer whose name was Mr. Jackson. He was a senior officer. Jackson is aware of the innovative skills of the prisoner Evans, and thus jokingly he calls him, little Einstein, and thus they have become warm enemies, because for the last 3 attempts the prisoner had made to escape from the prison already. So this time Mr. Jackson is very vigilant, he's very strict, and they are not in the favor of giving him even a minor chance to escape from the prison. So before he begins to conduct the examination, the governor, he gives certain instructions to Jackson, so that the prisoner should get his beard shaved. And thus every one of us know that this particular prisoner is he's a kleptomania and is thoroughly annoyed at Jackson, who was repeatedly requesting him to hand over the sharp equipments or whatever articles he had, like the nail file, the scissors. And he informed Evans that he was acting as per the instructions given by the governor, so Evans should not be annoyed when he is asking for those articles. And soon then we see that he asks him to remove his wobbly hat, and the prisoner was not at all willing, because he announces that is his lucky charm, and as he's going to appear for the O-level examination, he is is more interested in putting on that hat while appearing for the examination. And Evans very well knew that the officer, Mr. Jackson, he has somewhere in the core of his heart, he's a bit compassionate, he's a bit kind in nature. So he was emotionally trying to blackmail Mr. Jackson to permit him to put on his hat. And then soon we come to know that the next day, as per the instructions of the Secretary of Examination, they have spoken about an invigilator who would be putting a check on the examinee when he would be appearing the examination. So the Secretary of Examination had advised the governor to appoint one of the parsons of St. Mary's Mag's Church as an invigilator to examine the examinee on the day of the examination. So as per the instructions, we come to see that the the invigilator S. McClary had arrived, and he's being escorted by one of the officer who silently escorts him, and then they enter first the you know first he enters his name at the main door of the prison, Oxford prison. Then he is escorted by the officer who silently escorts him, and they have both of them enter the you know channel gate, and it is unlocked and then locked as they enter in. Then few steps ahead they have to enter another channel gate, which was also again the procedure was repeated. He had to enter that again. It was unlocked and locked once again, and then from there you know um, Stevenson was the newly recruited officer. He was asked to you know escort him to the cell of Evans the prisoner, Evans the break. And thus they were climbing the stairs, those iron stairs, and as he goes there, Jackson, he gives certain instructions to Stephens. He tells him that, see, proper precautions should be taken, and so he's supposed to keep a complete check on him and, collect all the articles, sharp articles from him. And then before leaving the cell of the examinee, he even warns him that, to behave yourself, lad, he calls him. And then Evans shows surprise on noticing that his cell has been bugged up. But Jackson again endorses the governor's action, because nobody would take any chance with a prisoner like Evans, who is a master planner. We all know he's good at holding conspiracies, maybe inward outward. So the invigilator S. McClary, he he, when he approaches the cell, he finds Evans with a book of elementary German grammar, exactly at 9:10. So we have seen that the invigilator had arrived, and the second part I would be beginning from here, children. But before I commence with the next part, I would continue with the chapter. I would like to advise you all, if you really like my videos, please kindly like and subscribe. I think this little bit you would definitely be able to do, children. And with this, let's move on to the chapter and continue with it. I hope you all are working hard and doing good for your forthcoming examination. So, let me begin with the second part, children. I once again welcome all of you. It was 9:10 a.m. when the governor switched on the receiver. As the invigilator had approached the cell of Evans, so he found him, with a textbook of elementary German grammar. Okay, exactly it was 9:10 a.m. when the governor switched on the receiver. As you all maybe I had it has slipped from my mind. I might not have shared with you that a microphone has been installed in the prisoner's cell. So it was 9:10 a.m. when the governor switched on the receiver. He had instructed Jackson to tell Evans of the temporary little precaution. Then the governor had even instructed Jackson to please make aware Evans that certain precautions are being taken. Okay, and then again the governor was in a fix that if this man he would have planned to escape. So he would have escaped from the recreation wing, that was the D wing, when he was left free there, and he could have escaped from there. So, but still, then he says that was only fair, as if Evans would not spot it. And then he says that Jackson feels that the governor is so worried about the precautions, even though if a microphone has been installed in his cell in the phone, he would have definitely, he's so clever, Evans is so clever, that he would have definitely spotted the microphone there. But wasn't it all a bit theatrical? Then he feels that, see, so much of, you know, precaution is being held. He is trying to be so vigilant, and every now and then instructions are being given. He feels that it is like more of a theatrical. Theatrical is just like a play, and school boyish almost, like school children के लिए we keep giving instructions. It's, I think the governor is so concerned about the prisoner that he now and then oftenly gives him instructions. Then he says, how on earth was Evans going to try anything on today if he was so anxious to make another break? Then he says, I don't think so. Even though if he's trying to, if he's planning up, if he has planned any conspiracy to break the prison and run away from here, then he says it's not, necessary that it would be possible for him to escape from here. Then he says, if he was so anxious, if he would have been so determined to escape, so definitely Evans would have made an escape and would have broken the prison, and he would have escaped from the prison on that day when he was in the recreational block, where he was, at ease, and he could have easily made an escape. So the governor, he satisfied himself, and thus he says that I don't think so. With so much of precautions, special precautions are being laid here, so he would not be able to escape from here. And there he was now, and he says, and that's the reason, see, look at him, he's sitting in the cell here. If he would have escaped, he would have made an escape on that particular day when he was in the recreational block. Okay? Then he says that sitting in a locked cell, all the prison officers on the alert, and see, that's the reason. And poor chap, he's, under the eyes of all the vigilant officers, and is sitting inside the cell, and a yard with a wall as high as a haystack, and is saying, in that bunk in which he's made to, imprison, he's imprisoned, it has huge, walls, and those walls are as high as a haystack. Haystack means सूखी घास, हीप्स में रखी हुई है. हीप्स मीन्स ढेर में सूखी घास पड़ी हुई है, बिल्कुल इतनी ऊंची सूखी घास पड़ी हुई है, बिल्कुल दीवारों की तरह हो रही हैं. And yes, Evans was as safe as houses. Now, what do you mean by as safe as houses? The simile used here. So he means that Evans is thus very safe because he is surrounded with a haystack heaps of haystack walls. So it's not easy for Evans to escape from the cell. Then he says, anyway, it would not be now this as safe as house. Generally in British, people use this phrase, it means that very safe. वो बहुत ही सुरक्षित है. Now, anyway, it wouldn't be any trouble at all to have the receiver turned on for the next couple of hours or so. It wasn't as if there was going to be anything to listen to, was it? Then he says, even though if I do not switch on the, microphone or the phone, I don't think so we have anything much to, listen to what is going on inside. But still he says, amongst other things, an invigilator's duty is also to keep a strict check and observe the examinee while he is appearing in the examination. So thus he says, but still that little nagging doubt, he says, but still, that little doubt is worrying me. That is the person, the examinee, the prisoner, he should not take a chance of escaping from the prison. Might Evans try to take advantage of a McClary? Then he says, it is possible that, Evans, the prisoner, he could even take an advantage of the invigilator who is a parson from St. Mary's Max, church. Then he says, get him to smuggle in a chisel or two, or rope, a ladder rod. Then he says, it is possible that this gentleman, Evans, he can, have a, chisel. Chisel is a carpenter's tool. See, he can have a carpenter's tool or a rope ladder, रस्सियों से बनी हुई ladder होती है. You might have seen people when they are whitewashing their houses, they generally have those rope ladders, Then he says that, see, he can cause harm with a chisel, or even he can escape with the help of a rope ladder too. Now the governor sat up sharply when, suddenly again this thought struck him that constantly, it was harassing him, the thoughts, those doubts on this prisoner, they were constantly worrying the governor that this gentleman, he could make an escape with a minor sharp article, or he could even, with the help of a rope ladder, who could easily make an escape from the cell. So the governor sat up sharply. When this thought struck him, he could not resist himself and he sat down. It was all very well getting rid of any potential weapon. So he said, it is, I need to give certain instructions again, because कोई भी शार्प ऐसा कोई भी हथियार हो, any such weapon which he may possess with him, that has to be collected, and that Evans could have used. And ऐसा नहीं हो कहीं the invigilator who is coming to put a check on the prisoner, he could also have any sharp object with him. So I think even the invigilator need to be checked. So what if quite unwittingly means unintentionally, the invigilator carries any sharp objects with him? The innocent McClary had brought in something himself, and not, she's saying it's possible, unintentionally, even the invigilator can carry something along with him into the cell. So a jackknife perhaps, and what if Evans held him hostage? और कहीं ऐसा नहीं हो उस नाइफ के साथ Evans इन्विजिलेटर को वो क्या बना ले, उसे बंदी बना ले. होस्टेज मीन्स हु ही कैन मेक हिम बंदी, उसे बंदी बना ले. ही कैन होल्ड हिम with a sharp weapon, he can make him his victim. Now the governor reached for the phone. So governor was very much worried. Now he thought, let me once again give a call to Mr. Jackson and remind him that to even investigate or check the invigilator. It was 9:12 a.m. I want all of you to please note down the timings, make a notes for it. The examinee and the invigilator had already been introduced by Stephens, and as you know, Jackson has handed the invigilator to Stephens, and he said to Stephens that you need to put a check on the invigilator as well as on the examinee, and any sharp objects if they possess, you need to collect them. So thus introduced by Stephens. So Stephens had introduced the invigilator to Evans. When Jackson came back and shouted to McClary, then suddenly Jackson came because governor had given him certain instructions to check even the invigilator. So he came suddenly and shouted at McClary through the cell door, or darwaza kholte hue chillaye, can you come outside a minute, sir? What did he say? He addressed him, saying him that, sir, could you please come out for a minute? I would like to have a talk to you. You too, Stephens. Then he said, Stephens, I want even you to come out of the cell. Jackson quickly explained the governor's worry. Now, in a haste, Jackson, he had, forwarded the instructions given by the governor immediately, because the governor was very much in stress or tensed, and McClary patiently held out his arms at shoulder level, and McClary was standing in this way because he wanted Stephens to, search. तलाशी लेने के लिए उसने अपने हाथ यूँ खड़े कर दिए कि okay, you come on, do it. Shoulder level wills. Wills means it's nothing to search. Jackson lightly frisked his clothes, and Jackson was slowly, moving his hands over his body to feel if there was anything, hidden either under his clothes or no. So then what happens is something hard here. Then suddenly when he was just moving his hands over his body, he felt something hard, somewhere. And he said, sir, what is this? Then, the invigilator, Mr. McClary, S. McClary, he immediately replied, my reading glasses. He said, these are my spectacles. Looking down at the spectacle case. Then he showed the spectacle case as this is here. He showed him this is the spectacle case. Jackson quickly reassured him, and bending down on the landing, thumb flicked the catches on the suitcase. Then suddenly, he looks down and he looks at the suitcase. Thumb flicked is nothing. Earlier, the ancient period, there was that sort of suitcases where the suitcase had buttons, and they were supposed to press the button, and it used to open up. So that was a thumb flick, the catches on the suitcase. There were some buttons there. Then this was in the ancient period, such briefcases the people held, suitcases. So he picked up each envelope in turn. Then there were some envelopes lying down there. He picked up each one of the envelopes and carefully passed his palms. Then, with a number of envelopes there, and he was slowly trying to check even the envelopes that were lying in the briefcase along their surfaces and seemed satisfied. And this is how Stephens and Jackson, they investigated properly, thoroughly, even the invigilator as well as his articles. He riffled is nothing. He opened the pages, cursorily through a few pages of Holy Writ. What do you mean by Holy Writ? Holy Writ is the Bible. Bible is also known as Holy Writ, Cursorily is nothing but lightly and softly, okay? And vaguely. Vaguely is again your Tezi say he shook. And there was one of the the newspaper, the Church Times, was also lying down near his briefcase. Immediately, the officers even, checked the newspapers by reshuffling those sheets. All right, so far, he said, okay, everything is fine. Till now, everything is fine. But one of the objects in McClary's suitcase was puzzling him. Now, when he was investigating everything, but there was one thought that was, repeatedly worrying the officer. That was, there was one article in McClary's suitcase, and that was puzzling him. He was getting confused. Why did he get that particular article in his suitcase? So what did he say? Do you mind telling me why you have brought this, sir? So immediately Jackson questioned McClary, the invigilator. He said, sir, I want to know, why have you brought this particular article with you? What is this? Why you are carrying this? He held up a smallish semi-inflated rubber ring. उन्होंने एक rubber tube था, उसको उठाया, and that was a small size rubber tube, which was, छोटी सी rubber tube थी. Semi means छोटी, and आधी वो फूली हुई थी, उसमें हवा भरी हुई थी. Somewhere you can say, I don't know whether there was the air in it or something else was in it, that we would come to know further. Rubber ring, such as a young child with a waist of about 12 inches. Is saying that rubber ring or the tube, whatever it was, that could fit only a small child who uses to go for a swim in the river or in the sea. And why is this gentleman carrying this rubber tube with him? So, you thinking of going for a swim, sir? So, he immediately questioned McClary. He said, sir, you're having this tube with you. Are you planning to, go for a swim? He questioned them. McClary's hitherto, hitherto means up tak, till now. McClary hitherto, amiable, here means in a very friendly manner. Amiable means friendly. Demeanor, friendly behavior. Demeanor means behavior. Was slightly ruffled by this tasteless little pleasantry. Now, the invigilator, he was little, the way he was questioned, are you planning to go for a swim, sir? So this behavior of the officer was appeared quite unpleasant to the invigilator S. McClary, and he answered Jackson somewhat surly. And उसने जैक्सन को जवाब दिया थोड़ा सा रूखे हुएपन में. If you must know, he said, if you wish to know, अगर तुम जानना चाहते हो, मैं तुम्हें बताता हूँ that I suffer from hemorrhoids. So what did he say? That वो piles की बीमारी से suffer कर रहे हैं. He is suffering of piles. And when I am sitting down for any length or time, he says, generally when I sit down for a longer period at one certain place, he generally has a problem. So very sorry, sir. As Jackson came to know that he's a piles patient, he said immediately, he begged forgiveness and he said, sir, I'm very sorry to throw this remark at you. And the embarrassment was still reddening Jackson's cheeks, when he found the paper knife at the bottom of the case. Now, but Jackson was still very vigilant. He was a very strict officer. See, what did he do? As he, had a look around, he found, there was a paper knife lying down, paper cutter, that was lying down at the bottom of the case. And, immediately looking at the knife, Jackson was again reddened means उसके गाल बिल्कुल लाल हो गए, गुस्से में आ गए वो. He was now annoyed. I think I would better keep this, though, if you don't mind, sir. Jackson said, sir, if you do not mind me, taking this paper knife under my control, I hope that you would not mind me taking this. So it was now, the time was 9:18 a.m. Before the governor heard their voices again, and now the governor, he had the microphone there attached to the phone to the cell, phone of in the cell there was a phone and that was attached to the microphone, and the microphone was installed there. And so thus the governor was able to hear the casual discussion taking place between the invigilator as well as Mr. Jackson and Stephenson there. So, and it was clear that the examination was now going to be more than a little late in getting underway. So, thus the governor came to know that it appears that the examination is going to commence little late. McClary, you have got a watch. Evans, yes sir. So immediately as the door was shut and the officers had left the cell, so the invigilator was inside the cell. After getting in, he said, here, are you having a watch? Evans said, yes sir, this is a conversation being held between Evans and McClary when the invigilator McClary had entered the cell. Then McClary said, I will be telling you when to start and again when you have 5 minutes left, alright? He said, see, he was talking to the examinee. See, when you have to begin with your examination, I would be giving you instructions and you will be beginning with your paper only then. And 5 minutes before the time gets off, I would be giving you 5 minutes before a warning that you have to now end your answer script. McClary, there's plenty more. This writing paper should you need it. Then McClary said, there's plenty more things that we need to do, but please see that you retain proper silence here. McClary, then he said, he started giving him instruction. See, generally even during the examination in the school children, the teachers in your, examination room, you find they give you instructions, certain instructions, and as per the given instructions, the children, the examinees appear for the exam, isn't it? Now, he said, write the name of the paper 021 slash, a hyphen, 1 in the top left hand corner. So, silence, he said again. McClary again, in the top right hand corner, write your index number 313 and in the box just below that, write your center number 271. Alright, he said, and thus these instructions are given. You need to remember this, children. Underline these lines. Okay, and then he said again, silence. The time was 9:20. McClary said, I'm now going to begin. Okay, Evans is not going to stay there, is he? He's saying, you're going to stay there. McClary, I don't know about that. He's saying, this gentleman who's standing here, is he going to stand over my head here? Who was there? Stephenson was standing there because he was instructed by Mr. Jackson to keep a keen vigilance over the examinee. So he was asking his invigilator, would this man be standing here? Then he said, I don't know that. Then Mr. Jackson's given me strict instructions to stand here at the door. So he said, till the time you would be appearing for your examination, I am supposed to stand here over your head. And these instructions have been forwarded by the governor of HM prison, he said. Evans, then how would I be able to appear I would be able to concentrate on my exam. With someone breathing down my neck, Christ कहता है हे भगवान ऐसा आदमी मेरे सर पे खड़ा हो, and how does he expect me to complete my examination? Breathing down my neck. Breathing down my neck is nothing but idiom used that having a keen observation, standing like a hawk over me. So sorry sir, I didn't mean. फिर कहता है, फिर naturally he's an officer, तो उसने फट से इवांस ने उसे कहा सॉरी सर, मैं ऐसा कुछ आपको मीन नहीं कर रहा हूँ, बट इट्स मी हु फीलिंग सो मेरा खुद का ऐसा मन हो रहा है कि आपके यहाँ होते हुए आई वुड नॉट बी एबल टू कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन माई एग्जामिनेशन इफ़ यू आर स्टैंडिंग ओवर माई हेड. The governor reached for the phone. Immediately governor picked up the phone, children. Okay, then he said, Jackson, good, get Stephens out of the cell. See, how did the governor come to know that, the examinee is a bit annoyed due to the presence of Stephens standing there at his door? Because the governor was able to listen to the conversation between the invigilator, Stephens, as well as Evans. Okay, so immediately he called for Jackson and he instructed him, ask Stephens to come out of this cell. I think we are perhaps overdoing things. Then he said, Jackson, I think we are, getting extra strict with the guy. I think additional precautions we are taking. Let him be little relaxed. As you wish, sir, Jackson said. The governor heard the exchanges in the cell, heard the door clang once more, and then suddenly he heard the conversation going on. And once again, because now Jackson has gone to tell Stephens to come out from the cell, and thus after he had given instructions to him, the door was once again shut, and that's what the governor was able to hear, the banging of the door. It was 9:25 a.m. Children, this is the time for the examination to begin. I want you all to note down. It was 9:25 a.m. and there was a great calm. There was peace all around. Calm means silence all around. At 9:40 a.m., children, see, this is from here. Now there's a twist in the story. At 9:40 a.m., examinations board, from there, from the how the CBSE board we have, so from whichever board he was appearing for the O-level German examination, board rang, the phone rang, through, and the assistant secretary with special responsibility for modern languages asked to speak to the governor. So who was speaking on the phone? There was a call for the governor, and then who wanted to speak to him? The assistant secretary of the modern languages, who he was willing to speak to the governor. So something very important had happened, and please note down here as IMPT. Okay, from here, very important, because definitely there would be questions from here too. So what did this secretary, why the secretary wanted to speak to the governor? There's some reason behind it, so let's know what is it. The examination had already started, no doubt. Examination had commenced. A quarter of an hour has passed. Nearly 15 minutes. Yes, well, there was a correction slip which some fool had forgotten to place in the examination package. Now, what did the Secretary of Modern Languages, tell to the governor? Yes, I know the examination had commenced, but I would like to tell you that one of the employees here, he had forgotten to put a correction slip. There was some correction in the question paper, and they have forgotten to place that correction slip in the envelope. Okay, children, please be careful here, listen to me very carefully. Which some fool had forgotten to place it in the examination package, he said. Could the governor please do this service for me? He said, Governor, could you please pass the instructions that this correction is to be made in the question paper? The governor immediately said, yes, of course, sir, why not? I will put you straight through to Mr. Jackson. He said, don't worry, I will connect you directly to Mr. Jackson, who would forward your instructions. Then he said, hold the line a minute, please be online. Was this the sort of thing the governor had feared? Now, after having a talk to the secretary of the modern languages, the governor was, once again in a, fear. He was again in, in a tension, what tension he had, what was that fear that was worrying him? कि was this sort of problem that I was worried of कि ऐसा कुछ हो जाएगा कि कहीं ये जो बाहर से कॉल आना और फिर ये बोलना कि करेक्शन है क्वेश्चन पेपर में, क्या इज़ दिस कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि इवांस का ही कोई प्लान हो, कोई कॉन्स्पिरेसी हो? सो द गवर्नर वाज हियर गेटिंग worried and tensed regarding this matter, which was, laid before him by the Secretary of the Modern Languages. So and feared, was the phone call a fake? Then उसके मन में डाउट आने लगा, गवर्नर के मन में, क्या ये जो फ़ोन कॉल था ये कहीं झूठा तो नहीं है, कहीं फेक तो नहीं है, या फिर ये कोई सिग्नल है टू इवांस? इट कुड इवन बी अ सिग्नल, मे बी ही वॉन्ट्स टू गिव अ सिग्नल टू इवांस. So some secret message could be passed like this, but he could check on that immediately. He thought, before doing this, before passing this message that let the correction slip go forward, I would, I could check on this matter, the doubts that I'm, the minor doubts that are occurring in my mind repeatedly, incessantly, I would like to get them checked, he thought immediately. He dialed the number of the examination board. उन्होंने जल्द ही एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड को फ़ोन लगाया. किसने लगाया फ़ोन? गवर्नर ऑफ HM प्रिजन. क्यों लगाया उसने? इसलिए लगाया क्योंकि उनको लगा द कॉल दैट ही हैड जस्ट रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम द सेक्रेटरी विद स्पेशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर मॉडर्न लैंग्वेजेस as कन्फेस्ड बाय हिम. उसको लगा कि कहीं फेक कॉल नहीं हो, झूठा कॉल नहीं हो. तो इस चीज़ को क्लैरिफाई करने के लिए गवर्नर ही हैड called up to the on the number of the examination board. But as he called, he was able to hear staccato bleeps. What do you mean by staccato bleeps? Staccato bleeps means that's the engaged sound. Tung 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 tung, that sound, that bleeping sound he was able to hear, and the line was engaged. But then the line was engaged, wasn't it? फिर उसको डाउट आया, what is this? The phone is engaged. Yes, not very intelligent that 2 minutes later he heard some whispered communications in the cell. Exactly after 2 minutes, the governor was able to hear, again some communication being held inside the cell. So what did he say? And then McClary's broad Scottish language. And who was speaking? McClary, who was inside the invigilator, inside the cell, he was, forwarding certain instructions to the examinee as the examination was, some correction was to be done, okay? He was speaking in a Scottish accent. What do you mean by broad Scots? Broad Scots here means he was speaking in Scottish accent. उनकी जो आवाज़ थी वो स्कॉटिश एक्सेंट था, लैंग्वेज जो बोल रहे थे. Will ye please stop writing way while? So what did he say? He, in his Scottish language, he said, see, hey you, why don't you please stop a while you're writing, Mr. Evans, and listen carefully. I need to instruct you. Candidates offering German 0211 should note down the following corrections. So he said, in that same Scottish language he spoke. On page number 3, line 15, the fourth word should read Goldenen, not Golden, and the whole phrase will therefore read Zum Goldenen Lowen, not Zum Golden Lowen. I will repeat that, he said. So he said the word written there is golden, Goldene. In place of Goldene, it should be written as Golden, okay? And then he read the complete context, that is Zum Goldenen Lowen, not Zum Golden Lowen, okay? And he said, I would repeat once again the correction that was to be done. So he was instructing the examinee here. The governor listened and smiled. He had taken German in the 6th form himself. Now, why did the governor smile, children? He smiled because when the governor was in class 6, he too had learned, the German language. So, thus, in class 6, sixth form means class 6, and he remembered all about the agreements of adjectives. Thus, he knows that, whatever correction is being made, that is from the topic of adjectives of grammar, in English, grammar, in the German languages. And so did Maclare by the sound of things for the minister's pronunciation, and thus even Maclare was, able to speak, and he was able to even understand the minister's pronunciation. Minister's pronunciation here means the invigilator's pronunciation was most impressive, and the governor very well knew that he was the pronunciation of the invigilator was extremely impressive. But what about Evans? And he had a thought of Evans. But Evans does not know a single word. I don't think so he would be able to follow. He probably didn't know what an adjective was. He's saying, how will Evans understand what the invigilator is trying to instruct him? Okay, so because he was in doubt that he would not be knowing the language so fluently about adjectives and what adjectives are in German language. Okay, then he says, suddenly, while they both were, when the governor was listening to the conversation between Maclare, the minister, or the invigilator, you can call it as, and the examinee, immediately at that particular time, the phone rang again. See, now you have to remember what time the phone rang again. Immediately after, when they had the discussion of the grammar topic adjectives. Okay, and when the invigilator was instructing him in the German language or in his own Scottish language. The phone rang again. The magistrate's court. What was it? Magistrate's court. What is this magistrate's court? It is a lower level court, beta. Okay. Generally, criminals are, criminal cases are handled there. Okay. Now, a call he had received. Who had received a call? The governor had received a call from the magistrate's court. What did he get the message, in the call? They needed a prison van. See, the call that he received, mentioned that they wanted a prison van. उनको एक गाड़ी चाहिए थी, and a couple of prison officers. They also needed some prison officers there. Why? Because it was a remand case now. Children, you have to understand, क्यों उनको एक वैन HM prison से वैन और prison officers क्यों चाहिए थे, वहाँ के strict officers क्यों चाहिए थे? इसलिए चाहिए थे क्योंकि they were, suppose it is due to the remand case. Now, what is this remand case, children? Please understand it very carefully. Remand case is when the higher court, is not able to solve the case. The case is resent back to the lower court, okay, to once again reinvestigate everything. So that's, he says it's a remand case, and within 2 minutes the governor was wondering whether that could be a hoax. अब 2 मिनट के लिए तो गवर्नर सोच में पड़ गया कि ये जो कॉल मेरे पास आया है मैजिस्ट्रेट के कोर्ट से, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं है कि ये एक फॉल्स वार्निंग हो मुझे देने के लिए, या इट इज़ अ वे ऑफ एस्केपिंग अगेन. होक्स मीन्स अ फॉल्स वार्निंग. ओके, he told himself not to be so silly. Then he called himself very stupid because suspecting, becoming suspicious on every act, So he was feeling that he is becoming too suspicious and too silly. His imagination was beginning to run riot. So what he said, he's saying, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि मेरी जो सोच है, मेरी खुद की सोच जो है, ये मुझे, एक तरह से अनकंट्रोल्ड सी लगने लगी है. रन राइट मीन्स, रन राइट मीन्स अनकंट्रोल्ड सी लगने लगी है now. Then he says, Evans, for the first quarter of an hour, Stephens had dutifully peered through the peephole. Now, see, as per the instructions given by the governor to the senior officer Jackson, and then Jackson forwarding the same to Stephens. According to as per the instructions, Stephens, you know, for the first quarter of the time, since the examination had begun, he was dutifully बहुत ही कर्तव्य के साथ, पूरे कर्तव्य के साथ, he was, giving his duty, and every now and then he was peeping through the peephole of the door. दरवाजे का जो पीप होल था, मैंने आपको बोला था कि छोटा सा मिरर लगा रहता है, उस मिरर से बाहर से आप अंदर देख सकते हैं कि अंदर क्या चल रहा है. तो इंस्ट्रक्शन के जिस तरह से दिए गए थे उसको वो एवरी 1 मिनट के अंदर, हर 1 मिनट के बाद वो अंदर झांक रहे थे उसमें पीप होल के थ्रू, या फिर एवरी 2 मिनट्स के बाद. द टाइम वॉज 10:45 AM. एवरीथिंग वॉज गोइंग ऑन पीसफुली एंड स्मूथली. ही लुक थ्रू द पीप होल वंस अगेन. फिर उसने सोचा, स्टीफेंस ने, व्हाई डोंट आई हैव वंस मोर अ लुक एट द examinee who's appearing for the exam. So what did he do then? When he looked through the peephole, it took 4 or 5 seconds, no more. What was the point? It was always more or less the same. So whenever he looked into, and in between उसने 4-5 मिनट खड़ा होकर भी देखा, but nothing special, nothing extraordinary was going on. As usual, he was sitting and appearing in his examination. So what did he do? Straight in front of him towards the door, seeking, it seemed, some sorely needed inspiration from somewhere. जैसे उसने उसको देखा, उसने देखा कि इवंस सीधा डोर की तरफ देख रहा था. ऐसे लग रहा था वो बहुत गहरी सोच में है. वो कुछ गहरा सोच रहा है अपने क्वेश्चन पेपर के जो क्वेश्चंस उसको दिए गए हैं. He was trying to deeply think regarding, he was in deep thoughts, okay, as if he wanted to get inspired from somewhere. So in deep thoughts he was imagining as he had a look through the peephole. Then an opposite McLeary was sitting, seated slightly askew from the table, and थोड़ा सा हटकर टेबल से बैठे हुए थे. His face in semi-profile, his hair, as Stephens had noticed earlier, उन्होंने जिस तरह से जब मैक्लेरे अंदर आए थे तो स्टीफन्स ने उनके बालों को ऑब्जर्व किया था. immaturely clipped pretty closely. He had seen that, जो उनके बाल थे, they were not properly done. ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे कोई पहली बार कटिंग करता है ना, तो कभी छोटे गुच्छों की तरफ बंधे हुए बाल थे उनके. And thus immaturely means in a very untidy manner, done in a very first time कोई कटिंग करता है बालों की, इस तरह से हो रहे थे. pretty closely to the scalp, and हम उनकी खोपड़ी भी नज़र आ रही थी. the scalp was visible. His eyes behind the people lenses, and he was able to see, he was putting on round glasses spectacles. Who? The invigilator. And peering short-sightedly. What do you mean by short-sightedly? Short-sightedly means when you cannot see things lying away from you. And then आप क्या करते हैं, चश्मे को, जैसे अब मैंने लगाया हुआ है, मैं इसको थोड़ा ध्यान से देखने के लिए I will look little, closely. So same way, he was also, he had a short sight, and he was reading the newspaper. His right index finger hooked beneath the narrow clerical collar. When he was reading the newspaper, the invigilator, his right finger, we point this index finger, this is, and he was just putting it under his clerical collar. And the fingers of the left hand, the nails meticulously manicured, and is saying his left hand fingers, we could see they were well manicured. Manicured means बहुत ही साफ सुथरी थी, साफ करी हुई थी, नाखून काटे हुए थे, clean था उसके nails. Slowly stroking the short black beard, and with those own fingers के साथ he was fingering his black beard, At 10:50 AM exactly, the receiver crackled to life. Suddenly, once again, there was a ring in the receiver, and the governor realized he had almost forgotten Evans for a few minutes. Then suddenly he realized कि मैं तो इवांस के बारे में बिल्कुल भूल ही गया. I was in deep thoughts. So I need to, Ghanti bajse, he wanted to see. And Evans, please sir, see, the invigilator was busy reading the newspaper. See, when the teachers are on duty, what do the children say? Ma'am, please excuse me, could you please, you know, pass me an additional sheet? The same way he said, Evans ne kaha, please sir, a whisper. Then once again, please sir, would you mind if I put a blanket around me? उन्होंने सर से पूछा, सर क्या आप मुझे इजाज़त देंगे कि मेरे पास ये जो ग्रे कलर की ब्लैंकेट पड़ी हुई है, बेडशीट मेरे बंक पे पड़ी हुई है, कुड आई यूज़ दैट टू कवर माई सेल्फ? वाई ही वॉन्टेड टू कवर हिमसेल्फ, चिल्ड्रन? So they definitely is some cause behind this. So it's a bit parky. Parky is the word, generally in the British, they speak this language, and they use these expressions like when it is chilly, the weather is little ठंडा होता है, तो उसने कहा सर मैं चादर ओढ़ना चाह रहा हूँ because it's cool here, it's a bunk. बिल्कुल कहीं से धूप नहीं आ रही है, no sun rays at all piercing into that bunk. So he says, sir, I would love to cover myself. I want to drape myself with a bed sheet. Paki here means chilly. Chilly means thanda, cold. Okay, silence, he said. Invigilator ne kaha, silence. Evans, there's one. I said exactly, he told him, this one on me bunk here, sir. One of the bed sheet is lying down on the bunk. If you permit me, I would definitely like to drape myself with this bed sheet. मैं अपने आप पर खुद पर अपने कंधों पर उड़ना चाहता हूँ उस बेडशीट को, ही said. At 10:51 a.m., Stephens was more than a little surprised. Exactly at 10:51, the officer Stephens was a bit surprised, to see a grey regulation blanket draped round Evans. So as Stephens looked through the peephole, he was able to find that he had covered himself with a blanket, around Evan's shoulders, and he frowned. And he was, frowned means it's an expression जब आप अपने eyebrows को यूं इकट्ठा कर लेते हैं, and there are some गुस्से वाले frown expression. He was annoyed slightly and looked at the examiner more closely. और उसको गुस्सा आया स्टीफन्स को कि इसने चादर ऐसे कैसे उड़ रखी अपने ऊपर. तो he was bit annoyed, and he, to inspect him more clearly, he went closer to him and have a better closer look at him. But Evans, the pen still between his teeth, Evans was still holding the pen in this manner, okay, putting the pen in his mouth, and he was, staring just as vacantly as before, and he was blank, putting the pen in his mouth. He was holding with his teeth, and he was blank, he was in his deep thoughts, blankly beneath the blanket, and he was beneath the blanket. Should Stephens report the slight irregularity? Then he began to think that Jackson felt that क्या स्टीफन्स को इस इरेगुलरिटी के बारे में गवर्नर को क्या बताना चाहिए या नहीं? Because this is something, very irregular, that he is doing it in the cell, which he should not do it. An examinee should not cover himself with a bed sheet. But this examinee, the prisoner who is appearing for the O-level examination, he is, covering himself with a blanket. So what he said? Then he said, anything at all fishy. Hadn't Jackson said? Then he thought, yes, Jackson had warned me. आपको कहीं भी सस्पिशन लगे उसकी मूवमेंट्स पर, उसकी एक्टिविटीज़ पर, तो आपको इमीडिएटली गवर्नर को बताना है. सो ही बिगैन टू रिकॉल द वर्ड्स ऑफ द सीनियर ऑफिसर हु had instructed him if Stephens finds any irregular activity taking place inside the cell, so immediately that should be informed to the governor. So he looked through the peephole once again. तो Stephens ने एक बार फिर देखा उस peephole में से, and even as he did so, Evans pulled the dirty blanket more closely. और जैसे उसने देखा तो उसने क्या देखा कि जो Evans थे, he was covering himself with a blanket even more closely rather than initially. पहले तो थोड़ा उसके कपड़े और उसके कंधे दिख ही रहे थे, कम कवर था, बट जब उसने दोबारा देखा तो उसको लगा कि इसने तो पूरा अपने आप को अच्छी तरह से कवर कर लिया है, ड्रेप कर लिया है. देन ही गॉट अ डाउट. Was he planning a sudden Batman leap to suffocate McClary in the blanket? Underline this statement. So he thought to himself, Stephens thought to himself that, see, कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं, he is planning to take a Batman's leap, ये चादर की तरह एक बैटमैन बनकर कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं कि मैक्लेरे के ऊपर झपटा मारने वाले और उसको सफोकेट कर देंगे चादर लपेट कर उसको. एंड दिस इज़ हाउ मैक्लेरे को ब्लैंकेट के अंदर सफोकेट नहीं कर दे, उसका गला नहीं, बेचारे को सांस घुट जाए उसके अंदर. कि ऐसा तो नहीं इसने कुछ ऐसा प्लान किया हो और ये भी उसका कोई तरीका हो एस्केप करने का. डोंट बी डैफ्ट. फिर उसने अपने आप से कहा, ही called himself stupid. He's saying you are a real daft. He called himself stupid. There was never any sun on this side of the prison. फिर उसको लगा कि भाई, that's the reason why he's putting on a blanket. He's trying to cover himself with a blanket is because sun rays do not peer into the cell. जो सूर्य की किरणें हैं वो इस सेल के अंदर नहीं आती हैं, तो इससे 24 घंटे ठंडाई होने के कारण कमरा उसका जो है बहुत ठंडा है, इसलिए वो अपने आप को चादर से कवर कर रहा है. So this is how he tried to satisfy himself. Who tried to satisfy himself? Stephens, because he was doubting on his every activity, on Ivan's every activity or every irregular activity, you can say. So he says during the summer months, and it could get quite chilly in some of the cells. He's saying yes, even only during summers it is cool, and as well as even as during summers no sun rays get into it. So winters it is naturally cool, and summers too it is still cooler there. Stephens decided to revert to his earlier every minute observation. So when he found that he had draped himself with a blanket, so Stephens decided to, at 11:20, revert is to observe again and again. Okay, he wanted to observe repeatedly the way he was doing it as the examination had begun. Every minute observation. At 11:20 a.m., the receiver once more crackled. So once again the receiver, there was a call across the silence of the governor's office, and McClary informed Evans that only 5 minutes remained. And when he picked up the receiver, he was able to hear who the governor was able to hear. What he was able to hear? He was able to hear that McClary was instructing Evans in the cell that 5 minutes, a warning bell, that is, that before 5 minutes, before the time the paper would get off, his examination would get off. So he had warned him 5 minutes are left. The examination was almost over now, but something still gnawed away quietly in the governor's mind. See, exam khatam hone wala tha, lekin governor's mind, he was not at all at peace. Consistently his mind was disturbed. उसका जो दिमाग था, गवर्नर का जो माइंड था, इट वॉज नॉट इन पीस. Various types of doubts were occurring in his mind. He reached for the phone once more. Then once again he tried to pick up the phone. At 11:22 a.m., please note down the time. What has happened at 11:20? And now at 11:22 a.m., Jackson shouted along the corridor. Suddenly, the officers, the prison officers began to, hear someone shouting. Who was there? Along the corridor to Stephens, Jackson shouted along the corridor to Stephens. उसने Stephens को आवाज़ दी जैक्सन ने. The governor wanted to speak to him. तो उसने क्या कहा? Stephens, come immediately. The governor wishes to speak to you. Hurry, man, come on, quick. Stephens picked up the phone apprehensively. Apprehensively means quickly he hurried and picked up the receiver and listened to the rapid instructions being forwarded by the governor. Okay? Stephens himself was to accompany McClary. See, note down and underline these important lines, and please mention it here as important, because you can get a 30-word question in the board from here too. So what instructions were forwarded, what instructions were given by the governor? He said, Stephens, you have to escort McClary after the examination to see him off out of the prison. So one was this instruction given, that to the main prison gates you have to escort him. And the second instruction was Stephens personally was to make absolutely sure that the door was locked on Evans after McClary had left. So what did he say? The first instruction he had given was that Stephens was supposed to accompany McClary, the invigilator, to the main gate of the prison. And the second instruction that he had given was that see that Stephens, that after the invigilator steps out of the cell of the prisoner, see that you have to keep a vigil eye on him, and immediately as he steps out you are supposed to lock the cell, and then you are supposed to escort the invigilator to the main gate of the prison, he said. Okay, so these were the two instructions given by the governor to Stephens when Stephens was already on duty. Understood, he said, at 11:25 a.m. Children, note down the time. The governor heard the final exchange between, McClary as well as Evans. McClary, this is the last conversation between the examinee and the invigilator. So McClary said, stop writing please, your time is over now, and please do maintain silence. McClary, put your sheets in order, arrange your sheets, tie them up. Don't the teachers tell you? Yes. And see they are correctly numbered. See that before you submit your answer script, see that they are arranged properly, as well as they are numbered. The additionals or whatever you have taken, they are arranged properly. Scraping of chairs and tables. And actually, after the exam ends, you find the children pulling the chairs, pushing the benches, and same thing happened here. Evans said, thank you very much, sir. McClary, all right, was it? So he said, Evans, not too bad. He said, how was the paper? McClary said, how was the exam? Was it easy, or were you able to solve, or no? He said, not bad, sir. It was not that difficult. It's okay. I was able to do it. McClary, good. Mr. Stephens, very loud. The governor heard the door clang for the last time, and as instructed, immediately McClary बाहर आए सेल से, और Stephens ने क्या किया? He had observed and seen everything was in order, and he locked the cell, and thus the examination was over. How did he get on, do you think? Asked Stephens as he walked beside McClary. अब यहाँ पर from this paragraph now, Stephens the officer is escorting McClary the invigilator. Okay, escorting whom? The invigilator from here. जो पार्सन आए थे उसका इन्विजिलेशन के लिए, उन्हें वो छोड़ने जा रहा है मेन प्रिजन गेट पर. तो जाते जाते स्टीफन्स ने पूछा, एज ही वॉक बिसाइड मैक्लेरे के साथ चले जा रहे थे, और पूछा, आउच, आई कैन नॉट थिंक ही इज डिस्टिंग्विश हिमसेल्फ, आई एम अफ्रेड. ही इज सेइंग, his Scots accent seemed broader than ever. When Stephens spoke to the invigilator, उसको ऐसा लग रहा था कि जब वो अंदर आए थे, the time he had entered the prison to invigilate the examinee, that time when he was speaking the language, it was a bit different. And now when he's going out of the prison, children, see, you have to observe every point here, every context. See, his Scottish accent seemed broader than ever. लेकिन अब उसकी जो लैंग्वेज है वो तो बहुत अच्छी लग रही है. And his long black overcoat reaching almost to his knees. और जो उसने लॉन्ग ओवरकोट पहना है अब वो तो उसी के घुटनों से भी लंबा हो गया है. कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं इन्विजिलेटर के सेल के अंदर आने के बाद वो कमज़ोर हो गया हो इन्विजिलेटर, कि उसका जो लॉन्ग ओवरकोट है वो इतना लंबा हो गया है. What does this show? This shows that Stephens is little suspicious, you know, when he was escorting him out to the prison gate. See, then reaching almost to his knees fostered the illusion, illusion is the false belief that he had suddenly grown slimmer. तो उसको लगने लगा कि ये क्या मेरा इस तरह से एक फॉल्स बिलीफ है क्या, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है क्या कि कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं ये कुछ चेंजेस मुझे नज़र आ रही हैं इस बंदे में जिसके साथ मैं चल रहा हूँ, जिसको आई एम ट्राइंग टू एस्कॉर्ट हिम टू दी आउटर गेट, and he's appearing bit, little bit he's appearing false and fake. I do not know why. Fostered here means supporting his views, Stephens felt pleased that the governor had asked him, and now Stephens was feeling proud of himself, thinking that, there were two officers, the senior as well as the newly appointed officer, recruited officer. Now Stephens, he was a newly appointed officer, so Stephens was feeling very proud that the officer, the governor of HM prison now had asked Stephens to accompany McClary to the premises, and all in all the morning, and had gone pretty well, and thus as per the instructions सुबह सुबह उन्हें छोड़कर बाहर आए, but something stopped him from making his way directly to the canteen. जब वो उसे बाहर छोड़कर आ रहे थे Stephens, तो he felt that whole I was there, so he wanted to have a cup of tea. But before having a cup of tea, something stopped him. He had a doubt. क्या डाउट आया कि did he lock the cell of इवांस, क्या उसने इवांस के सेल को ताला लगाया या नहीं. तो ये थॉट उसके माइंड में अकर होते ही what has happened, immediately without happening or without moving ahead towards the stall to have a cup of tea, or towards the canteen to have a cup of tea, he straight away rushed towards the cell. वो तेज़ी से भागकर वहाँ गए. He wanted to take just one last look at Evans. He just wanted to have one last look. एक बार वो देखना चाहते थे कि क्या Evans अपनी जगह पर बैठे हैं या नहीं. So what did he do? It was like a program he had seen on TV. वो कहते हैं मुझे बिल्कुल ऐसा ही महसूस हो रहा था जैसे कि कोई टेलीविज़न पर कोई प्रोग्राम चल रहा हो, एंड जिसमें एक वुमन है who could never really convince herself that she had locked the door. कहता बिल्कुल उसी प्रोग्राम की तरह कि जैसे कि एक औरत थी जो बार बार देखने जाती कि क्या मैंने दरवाज़ा बंद किया है या नहीं. इतना ही नहीं, और बार बार घर के सारे मेंबर्स से भी कहती है, yes go and have a look whether I had shut the door or no, whether the main gate has been locked or no. So he says the same thing was repeatedly the same fear occurred even in his mind. And thus often she would got up at 12, 15, sometimes 20 times to check the doors. He's saying the way this lady was doing it in a program, the same way he too had the similar doubt whether he had closed the cell of Evans or no. So he just wanted to have a last look. Okay children, he just wanted to have a last look at Evans, that he wanted to satisfy himself that his cell is properly locked. He re-entered the D wing. So वो जल्दी से भागकर ये इस इंसिडेंट को याद करके तो बिल्कुल उस औरत की तरह है जो बार बार सोचती है कि मैंने ताला लगाया या नहीं लगाया है. So he re-enters the D wing, made his way along to Evans' cell and opened the peephole once more. So what did he do? He once again went and opened the peephole, and he screamed, he howled, oh no Christ, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. No, there fall back on Ivan Che was a man, and then he saw a man was fallen back on Ivan's chair. Okay, and for a semi-second Stephens thought it must be Evans. तो थोड़ी देर के लिए उसको लगा थोड़े सेकंड्स के लिए उसको लगा कि मे बी Evans is on the chair lying down. He has been hurt. A grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders, and he was able to see the man sitting on the chair. The blanket was covered over his shoulders, but gradually the blanket was slipping down from his shoulders. Okay, the front of his closely cropped, irregularly tufted hair awash with fierce red blood. उसके जो उसने खुद काटे हुए बाल थे, तो जो गुच्छेदार जो उसके बाल थे उन पे पूरी तरह से ब्लड, fierce blood, extremely red blood was dripping from even that गुच्छेदार बालों से भी, that irregular tuft hair जो थे उसमें से खून बह रहा था थ्रू द स्मॉल ब्लैक बियर्ड, और बहता बहता वो नीचे आ रहा था इवन टुवर्ड्स द बियर्ड, and was even now spreading horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front. And thus it was slowly slipping and coming here, falling to the collar, and then first to the white collar, then to that black front part, Stephens shouted wildly for Jackson. और जब उसने ये देखा कि all blood on the chair, Stephens, he called for Jackson, and the words appeared to penetrate the curtains of blood. जैसे स्टीफन्स चिल्लाए तो वो आवाज़ उनकी, that force, जितनी फोर्सबली उन्होंने आवाज़ दी थी जैक्सन को, वो आवाज़ जो थी, इट फोर्स्ड वे, उस आवाज़ ने रास्ता बनाया, पेनिट्रेट की वो आवाज़ तेज़ी से, दैट कर्टन ऑफ ब्लड, वो जो खून बह रहा था जहाँ जहाँ से, तो वो आवाज़ उस बंदे के कानों तक गई जो खून में लथपथ था. And that hand of that man who was in blood, his hand, suddenly reached one of the handkerchiefs that was lying on the bed, or on the blood that veiled McClary's ears. McClary's कानों पर भी खून बहा हुआ था. तो जो चेयर पर था बंदा, वो कौन था? Who was he who was in, complete blood? That was McClary's ears, for the minister's hand felt feebly for a handkerchief from his pocket. Please underline these lines. So the man who was sitting on the chair with blood and the grey bedsheet slipping from his shoulders, who was there? Usko laga कि that was, McClary sitting there. So immediately Jackson and Stephens felt that Evans had made McClary, the minister, his victim, and he harmed him, and thus the blood was flowing. The blood seeping slowly through the white linen. Now, that handkerchief also was, a white cloth, that was a linen cloth, and blood was slowly seeping through that. He gave a long, low moan, और वो, एक रोने जैसी आवाज़, that sound he was able to hear. And he tried to speak. He was just trying to utter something, some words, few words he was trying to say something, but his voice trailed off. When he was trying to speak something, gradually his voice was getting slower, softer. He was not able to speak clearly and loudly. And by the time Jackson had arrived and dispatched Stephens to ring the police and the ambulance, तब तक तो जैक्सन भागते हुए आए और उन्होंने स्टीफन से कहा कि लिसन, प्लीज कॉल फॉर द एम्बुलेंस एज वेल एज गिव अ कॉल टू द पुलिस. द हैंडकरचीफ वाज अ स्टिकी, सीक्वेटी, स्क्वेल्ची. स्क्वेल्ची मीन्स, उस हैंडकरचीफ में पूरा ब्लड सोक हो गया था, उसमें पूरा ब्लड भर गया था. स्क्वेल्ची मीन्स द होल ब्लड वॉज सक्ड इन इट. वॉज ऑफ क्लॉथ, बिग कपड़ा जो था, वो जो हैंकर थी, उसके अंदर पूरा खून लथपथ हो गया था. McClary slowly raised himself. फिर धीरे से McClary, he got up, his face twisted tightly with pain, and the officer was able to see expressions of pain on his face. Do not worry about the ambulance. So what did McClary say? See, please do not worry about the ambulance, man. I'm right, I'm all right, I'm all right. Get the police. So what did he say? See, do not worry about the ambulance. I'm fine. I'm absolutely okay. Get the police. I know where he. So what did this man say who just got up from the chair of the cell? He said, see, I know where that man might have escaped. You please call the police. I would like to follow him. He closed his eyes and another drip of blood splashed like a huge red raindrop. और फट से उसने अपनी आंखें बंद कर ली because blood was already flowing. So जल्दी से see like a huge red raindrop, this is a simile used here. बिल्कुल एक बड़े से ह्यूज रेन ड्रॉप की तरह वो एक बड़ा सा बूंद खून की गिरी ऑन द वुडन फ्लोर, लकड़ी की फ्लोर पर गिरी. हिज हैंड फेल्ट अलॉन्ग द टेबल फाउंड द जर्मन क्वेश्चन पेपर. और जैसे ही ब्लड फ्लोर पे गिरा तो उसका हाथ ही वॉज जस्ट स्प्रेडिंग हिज हैंड ऑन द टेबल, देन उसके हाथ में एक क्वेश्चन पेपर लग गया. किसके हाथ में? द मैन हु वॉज in blood, and grasped it tightly. उसने फट से उसको झपटा मारा. He clasped that immediately into his hand, into his grip, blood-stained hand. Get the governor, he said. Come on, call the governor. I know where the man might have escaped. I would love to follow him. Almost immediately sirens were sounding. Immediately पुलिस को बुला लिया गया. चारों तरफ सायरन, गाड़ियों के सायरन वेल होने लगे. पुलिस भागती हुई इधर उधर नज़र आने लगी. Prison officers barked orders, and immediately the officers of the prison, they were following the orders. Puzzled prisoners, all the prisoners in the prison, HM prison, they were all puzzled, confused, pushed their way. They were pushing each other. There was hustle and bustle in the prison. शोर शराबा होने लगा कॉरिडोर्स के अंदर. Doors were banged. कोई इधर भाग रहा था, कोई यहाँ भाग रहा. Hither and thither they were rushing around the officers, okay, everywhere. And within a minute, McClary with Jackson and Stephen supporting him on either side. And we were underlining these lines, and soon we were able to see that, Stephens and Jackson, the senior officer, both of them were from each side. They were trying to, support McClary. उन दोनों तरफ से एक एक जने ने उसका कंधा पकड़ा हुआ था और उसके सपोर्ट करते हुए उसे ले जा रहे थे. Either side, his face now streaked and caked with drying blood. उसके चेहरे पे पूरा खून अब एक लेयर की तरह जम गया था. Was greeted in the prison yard by the governor. और जैसे उसे वो लेकर जा रहे थे wounded guy को, तो बाहर immediately गवर्नर तब तक पहुंच गए. एंड यार्ड में, प्रिजन यार्ड में जो खाली जगह होती है बैक साइड में, आंगन यू कैन कॉल इट एज. और गवर्नर वॉज परप्लेक्स. उसको देख कर गवर्नर कन्फ्यूज़ हो गए. एंड he was in grim. Grim means he was very seriously looking at the wounded guy. And the governor said, we must get you to hospital immediately. आपको तो खून बह रहा है. You should be immediately rushed to the hospital. I just don't. He said, no, I don't need to go to the hospital. Have called the police. Kindly call the police. Yes, they are on their way. Governor ने कहा, don't worry. They are already on their way. They are soon going to reach. But I'm all right. The wounded person said, I'm fine. You please call the police. Look here. Awkwardly, he opened the German question paper. उसने वो एक question paper grasp किया था from the table. तो immediately उस wounded person ने उस paper को, German question paper को, thrust किया. उसने उसकी तरफ उसको, गवर्नर के चेहरे की तरफ उसको यूं करके दिखाया. It's they, see what I mean. See here, look at this thing. What I mean to say, look at this, he said. He showed that question paper to the governor. The governor looked down and realized, फिर गवर्नर ने उस क्वेश्चन पेपर की तरफ देखा और एहसास किया what McClary was trying to tell him. He assumed, what was he trying to say? A photocopied sheet. He looked at that question paper, underlined this line. It was a photocopied sheet, had been carefully and cleverly superimposed. Superimposed means उसको चिपकाया गया था. Placed over the last one, originally blank. And उस last page को एक blank page की तरह उसको चिपका रखा था. Page of the question paper. See what they have done. और wounded man कहने लगा गवर्नर से, ये देखो उन्होंने क्या किया है. Governor, see. Governor, please have a look. His voice trailed off again. When he was trying to, talk to the governor, gradually his voice, the wounded man's voice, was slowly trailing off. Trailing off means उसकी आवाज़ धीमी होती जा रही थी, diminish हो रही थी. As the governor, dredging the layers, Now, governor dredging the layers. Dredging the layers means forgotten to, you know, he had completely forgotten to doubt. अब यहाँ आते आते तो उसने बिल्कुल किसी के ऊपर शक करना बिल्कुल बंद कर दिया था. He never expected this would happen. Dredging is forgotten to people's, it is like, to doubt on the person's layers of long neglected learning. Willed himself to translate the German text before him. और वो बंदा उसे कहता है कि please come on, try to translate this, whatever is written on this question on the last page, which has been pasted on the question paper. Sie sollen den Scorn anrebeten plan genau folgen. See, we are reading it in our language actually. So let's read in our English language what it means. You must follow the plan. What do you mean by this context? What is written in this language? It is written that it means that you must follow the plan already somethinged. जो भी हमने पहले से प्लान किया है, समथिंग हमने प्लान किया था, आपको उसको फॉलो करना है. The vital point in time is 3 minutes. Some changes are in the timings before the end of the examination. This is very important, children. See, these are some clues. They can be a question on clues. How were they able to detect, way Evans had escaped and how they were able to get him at the end, how they were able to capture him. So this is also an important clue. Underline this. But something, then at the end, that was already revealed to Evans. So पहले से उसको बता रखा होगा. Okay? Don't hit him too hard. Remember, he is a minister. And तो आवाज़ क्या आती है? कहते हैं उसको ज़्यादा ज़ोर से मत मारना. याद रखिए कि वो एक मिनिस्टर है. He is an invigilator. And don't overdo the Scots accent when. He's saying, and Scottish language भी ज़्यादा मत बोलना. A fast approaching siren wailed to its crescendo. जल्द ही गवर्नर जहाँ पर उनसे बातें कर रहा होता है ऑफिसर से, वो देखता है कि सामने से एक सायरन देती हुई एक गाड़ी सामने आकर खड़ी हो जाती है. क्रेसेंडो इज़ नथिंग बट लाउड ब्लेयरिंग साउंड प्रोड्यूस करते हुए आती है. ओके, क्रेसेंडो इज़ रेजिंग इन साउंड, द ब्लेयरिंग साउंड आवाज़ निकालते हुए आती है. द ग्रेट डोर्स ऑफ द प्रिजन यार्ड वो पुश्ड बैक, और जल्द से दरवाजे खोल दिए गए मेन गेट के, क्योंकि गाड़ी को अंदर आना था. एंड अ वाइट पुलिस का स्क्वील, एक सफ़ेद रंग की वाइट गाड़ी अंदर आई और आकर एक जग के साथ वहाँ पर आकर रुक गई. इट हॉल्टेड. ओके, और हु केम आउट ऑफ द वाइट पुलिस कार? In the beginning I said there were 2 detectives. So one detective, Superintendent Carter, swung out of the seat. वो पैसेंजर सीट पे बैठे हुए थे. जल्दी से डिटेक्टिव कार्टर बाहर आए and saluted the governor. Okay, what the hell's happening, sir? और आते ही कहने लगे कि sir, what's happening in the prison? And turning to McClary, then immediately the detective had a look at McClary. Christ, who's hit him? और कहने लगे, oh God, किसने मारा इन्हें? Who had wounded this gentleman? But McClary cut across whatever explanation the governor might have given. So जो भी जवाब गवर्नर दे रहे थे, मैक्लेरे उसकी हर बात को काट रहे थे. He was not allowing governor to express his views to the detective. एल्सफील्ड वे, और जल्दी से बोलने लगे कि आप एल्सफील्ड रास्ते पर, रोड पर गाड़ी को ले चलो. आई नो वेयर ईवान्स माइट हैव एस्केप्ड. क्या कहने लगे कि मैं जानता हूँ कि ईवान्स कहाँ एस्केप हुआ होगा. ही वॉज ब्रीदिंग हेविली एंड लीन्ड फॉर सपोर्ट. लंबी लंबी पैंटिंग कर रहा था. पैंटिंग मीन्स लंबी सांस ले रहा था. और ही वॉज वेटिंग फॉर सम सपोर्ट, कि कोई ना कोई उसे थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट दे दे ताकि वो थोड़ा सा नील कर सकें, किसी का सहारा ले सकें. ओके, अगेंस्ट द साइड ऑफ द कार where the imprint of his hand was left in tarnished crimson. तो उन्होंने थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट लिया था कार के ऊपर हाथ रखकर, एंड उनकी कार पर जो हाथ उन्होंने लगाया था और उस हाथ का निशान पड़ गया था, एंड उस हाथ से, वो ब्लडी हाथ के साथ वो कार की जो बॉडी थी वो डर्टी हो गई थी, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट रेड ब्लड कलर। ओके, now in bewilderment Carter looked to the governor for guidance. Now bewilderment means in eagerness, he was very eager. Carter was looking at the governor very seriously because he was waiting for certain guidance ke what the governor is going to instruct him. Then he said, what? The governor said, take him with you. Governor ने detective से कहा कि kindly take him with you if you think he will be all right. He's the only one who seems to know what's happening. He's saying, this man who has been wounded by Evans, only he is the person who knows where Evans might have escaped. So if अगर ये आदमी ठीक रहा तो आप इसकी मदद ले सकते हैं to capture Evans. Carter opened the back door and helped McClary inside. और उन्होंने McClary की मदद करी, इन्विजिलेटर की, and made him sit on the passenger seat, and within a few seconds the car leaped away. And जल्द ही बहुत तेज़ी के साथ बाहर ग्रेवल रोड, ग्रेवल में जहाँ पर कच्ची रोड थी, कच्चा रास्ता था, उस रास्ते पर विद फुल स्पीड कार्टर अपनी गाड़ी लेकर वहाँ से स्पर्ट ऑफ ग्रेवल में निकल गए. और immediately McClary said, go towards Elsfield way. I want you to go towards Elsfield. And there it was staring up at the governor from the last few lines of the German text. And इतनी सी बात बोलते ही वो गवर्नर की तरफ देख रहे थे, एंड जो जर्मन लैंग्वेज में टेक्स्ट लिखा हुआ था उस क्वेश्चन पेपर के ऊपर उसको देख रहे थे. फ्रॉम एल्सफील्ड वे ड्राइव टू दी हेडिंगटन राउंड अबाउट. उन्होंने क्या कहा? यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दीज names of these places or these roads, and he said you have to, from Elsfield you need to move towards Headington roundabout, take a round circle from there, then you have to move. Yes, of course, he said. Then from there the examinations board was in Elsfield way. उसने कहा कि एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड जो है वो एल्सफील्ड वे के रास्ते पर पड़ता है, and someone from the board must have been involved in the escape plan. तो उसने कहा, गवर्नर ने, कि डेफिनेटली ये जो एस्केप करने का ये जो प्लानिंग है, जो कॉन्स्पिरेसी प्लान किया गया है, डेफिनेटली कहाँ से बिगिन हुआ है? फ्रॉम दी एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड डिपार्टमेंट से ही ये हुआ है, एंड डेफिनेटली हम वहीं चलते हैं. फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगनिंग द क्वेश्चन पेपर इटसेल्फ द करेक्शन स्लिप. अब मैं समझ गया हूँ कि ये प्लान जो है वहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ जब मुझे कॉल आया फ्रॉम द सेक्रेटरी ऑफ द जर्मन लैंग्वेजेस, एंड ही वांटेड टू स्पीक टू द गवर्नर. मेरे से बात करना चाह रहे थे. अब मुझे लग रहा है कि ये जो कॉन्स्पिरेसी है रिगार्डिंग द एस्केप ऑफ ईवांस, इट हैज़ बिगन फ्रॉम द एग्जामिनेशन बोर्ड डिपार्टमेंट इटसेल्फ. और तभी उन्होंने वो करेक्शन स्लिप भी भेजा था बिफोर द एग्जामिनेशन कमेंस्ड. सो The governor turned to Jackson and Stephens. Immediately governor Jackson और Stephens की तरफ देखने लगे. I don't need to tell you what's happened, do I? तो गुस्से में बोलने लगे Stephens and Jackson. Jackson, you are a senior officer. मुझे नहीं लगता कि मुझे तुम्हें बताना चाहिए कि ये सब क्यों हुआ है, कैसे हुआ है. His voice sounded almost calm in its scathing contempt. See, the governor was very much annoyed. In a very peaceful manner, in a scathing voice, in a hard and worthless manner में उन्होंने दोनों ऑफिसर्स से कहा, फीलिंग वर्थलेस. उसको लगा कि इतनी प्रिकॉशन लेने के बावजूद भी द प्रिजनर हैड एस्केप्ड. हाउ शेमफुल इट इज़ दैट we people becoming so vigilant we have been all through when the examination was being conducted, and still he could make an escape. And which one of you two morons was it who took Evans for a nice little walk to the main gate? अब वो कहने लगे, अब मुझे आप में से ये बताओ, आप में से कौन ऐसा था जो ईवांस को एक छोटी सी कैजुअल वॉक की तरह लेकर गए थे, आप उसे बाहर तक छोड़ने गए थे, मेन गेट तक, एंड वेव्ड हिम गुड बाय सो ईजिली एंड ही मेड एन एस्केप फ्रॉम देयर. तो इमीडिएटली इट वॉज मी सर, stammered Stephen. Stephens ने जल्द से जवाब दिया, sir, it was me, it was I who had escorted him to the main gate of the prison. Just like you told me, sir, I could have sworn. He's saying, sir, I had tried to, follow the instructions given by you. It was you who gave me instructions that I need to escort him to the main gate personally, and then I need to even check that the cell door was closed after the invigilator steps out of the examinee's cell, and I had followed your instructions, I swear. कहने लगा, मैं कसम खा के कहता हूँ कि सर आपकी इंस्ट्रक्शंस को मैंने फॉलो किया है. What? Just like I told you? तो गवर्नर सेड, क्या मैंने तुम्हें कहा था? मैंने तुम्हें कोई इंस्ट्रक्शंस दिए थे? Hey, you say, what the hell? What are you trying to say? I did not forward any instructions. When you rang, sir, and told me to. और फिर जैक्सन बोले, सर आप ही ने तो फ़ोन किया था मुझे और आपने कहा था कि स्टीफन्स को बाहर बुलाओ और उसे कहो कि मेरे से बात करे. And it was you, sir, who said this to me, and I called Stevens. When was that? गवर्नर कहने लगे. And the governor was surprised. He said, when did I say this? The governor's voice was a whiplash now. Now the governor's voice was still sharper in sound, and, in a very quick manner he had given a response that when was that? When did I ask you to attend my call? When did I pass an order to you to call Stephens to attend my call? मैंने ऐसा नहीं कहा आपसे कभी भी. You know, sir, about 20 past 11, just before. कहने लगा, just थोड़ी देर पहले सर 11:20 पर आपने मुझे कॉल किया था. You blithering idiot, man. Then he said, here, you are really a stupid fool. So foolish you are to say this. It wasn't me who rang you. Don't you realize? But what was the use? He had used the telephone at that time, but only to try to get through to the examination. You know, sir, about 20 past 11, just before some time. You blithering idiot, it wasn't me who rang you, don't you realize? But what was the use? He had used the telephone at that time, but only to try to get through to the examinations board. He shook his head in growing despair and turned on the senior prison officer. तो उन्होंने फट से अपना ये जो complete loss हुआ था, he immediately looked towards the senior officer. And Jackson asked for you. How long have you been pretending you have got a brain? उनको गुस्सा आया, कहने लगे, and Jackson, you all the time you have been saying that you have got a brain, you are a very intelligent officer, you are very vigilant, and what about you now? Well, I will tell you something, Jackson, your skull is empty, your brain is totally empty, absolutely empty. It was Jackson who had spent 2 hours in Ivan's cell the previous evening, and we know that before the examination Jackson had spent nearly 2 hours having a investigation there. And it was Jackson who had confidently reported that there was nothing hidden away there. And it was Jackson who has reported to the governor that no sharp articles have been placed in the cell or any such sharp articles left in the cell anymore. And yet Evans had somehow managed to conceal not only a false beard, so underline all this, very important here, note down. सो क्या क्या छुपाया था ऑफिसर गवर्नर कह रहे हैं उससे, उन्होंने छुपाया है, कंसील किया है, हाइड किया है, वन फॉल्स बियर्ड, अ पेयर ऑफ स्पेक्टिकल्स, अ डॉग कॉलर and all the rest of his clerical paraphernalia. Paraphernalia is nothing but it is personal belongings. Okay children, all his personal belongings, he had hidden all that. but also some sort of weapon with which he had given McClary such a terrible blow. And not only this, along with this, definitely he might have had something very sharp with him, with which he had given a blow to McClary, and that's the reason why he is badly, extremely badly bleeding, A prison van backed alongside, but the governor made no immediate move. Suddenly, a van came and stood behind him, and the governor did not move at all. He looked down again at the last line of the German to the Headington roundabout. Then again he looked, at those lines, and it was written like he need to take a, roundabout turn from Headington, where then they have to go straight over and they make their way to Nigraben. वहाँ से वो सीधे जाएंगे, कहाँ जाएंगे? न्यू ग्राबेन. न्यू ग्राबेन क्या है? वेयर ऑन अर्थ. वो सोचते हैं कि ये जो नाम है कि इस जगह पर ये कहाँ पर एग्जिस्ट है. न्यू नाम है. सी नाउ दे आर ट्राइंग टू find out. They are investigating here. What is this New Graben? See, this is a clue here. New, something new grave. Never heard of it. There was a war grave name. यहाँ पर war grave तो है, new grave नाम तो नहीं है. Somewhere near Reading, but no, it was probably a code. So he says, I think definitely this is a code language word, and then it hit him. Then it suddenly struck his mind. It is Newbury. So what did he say? It is named as Newbury. That's what he has given the first word, new grave. But it is Newbury. This is a clue here. In place of Newbury, he spoke it as new grave. He has written as new grave. So God, yes, Newbury was a pretty big sort of place. Then he said, yes, Newbury, there is a place here, and I think definitely this man Evans, he might have escaped to Newbury. He rapped out his orders to the driver. What did he do? He immediately passed orders. Rapped means passed orders to the driver. What did he say? St. Aldate's police station. He ordered him to, speed up towards St. Aldate's police station. उस तरफ गाड़ी घुमाओ and step on it. Take Jackson and Stephens here. वहाँ जाकर आप जैक्सन और स्टीफन्स को लेना, and when you get there, ask for Bell. And as you reach there, you are supposed to, ask for Detective Bell, Senior Officer, Chief Inspector Bell. Okay, got that? This is how he instructs the governor. He leaped the stairs, और जल्द से वो गाड़ी से बाहर निकले, to his office, अपने ऑफिस की तरफ जाने लगे गवर्नर. Office 3 at a time. Okay, got Bell on the phone immediately. और उन्होंने जल्द से फ़ोन लगाया बेल को and put the facts before him. और उन्होंने इस चीफ इंस्पेक्टर बेल को पूरी इन्फॉर्मेशन दे दी गवर्नर ने पहले से, कि ये इनके पहुंचने से पहले ही चीफ इंस्पेक्टर को इन्फॉर्म कर दिया. And he said, immediately Bell said, definitely do not worry, we are going to get him soon, sir, said Bell. We will get him with a bit of luck. We would be fortunate enough. I assure you that we would soon be capturing him or arresting him. The governor sat back and lit a cigarette. The governor in his office, he lit a cigarette and he was fagging, Yet, gods, what a beautifully laid plan. And वो सोच में पड़ गए कि कैसी conspiracy रची थी, किस तरह का, well planned था ये. What a clever fellow Evans was, careless leaving that question paper behind. And he thought how careless he was to leave that question paper on the table. And अगर हमें वो question paper नहीं मिलता, तो we would not have even been able to find a single clue about the gentleman. Well, almost. But then they all made their mistakes somewhere along the line. So he said, not only the prisoner who had escaped from here and he had left few clues, for them, then he said, along with the prisoner, we all, even the officers who have been appointed to put a vigil check on him, they too are somewhere responsible for his escape. Well, almost all of them. And that's why very, very shortly Mr. Clever Evans would be back inside doing his once more. But he said, whatever may be the reason, but I assure you that this clever Evans, I would soon arrest him and I would put him behind the bars once again. Okay, children, so I am ending the second part of the chapter here, that governor is in a, fix and is bit in stress because the clever Evans had once again made an escape. Now, as he, by mistake, due to his carelessness, he had left one question paper on the table, and with the help of that question paper, now the governor, with the help of other detective officers, he's planning that he would be able to arrest him and put him once again behind bars. So, children, with this, I would love to end the second part of my explanation, and soon I would be uploading the next part and ending the chapter, and then the last part I would be adding few questions to this chapter so that it becomes easier for you. Okay, but before I depart, I would like to once again advise you all to please work hard